Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, that is Science Unlocked. Now in the previous session we have talked about the processing of wool. Now we will be moving toward the next fiber, that is the silk fiber. Now as we all know that silk fiber is one of the softest kind of fiber as well as fabric that we know of, but the whole processing requires different set of steps involved in it, and those steps we will going to learn in this session. Now the very first thing is that it is actually the silk moth which is involved in this whole process, and to be more specific, it is the cocoon of the silk moth which is responsible for the production of silk. And when we talk about the production on commercial level, what we have to do is we have to do the rearing and breeding of these silk moths as well. So as we have discussed in case of sheep as well, that rearing and breeding is one of the most important steps when it comes to commercialization of fabric formation. So the same thing is here in case of silk as well, where we have to take care of the rearing of silkworms, and this particular process is known as sericulture, where we will be taking care of all the necessary requirements, and ultimately we will be able to make the final silk cloth or fabric out of the silk fiber that we will be obtaining from the silk moth. Now when we talk about the different kind of silks, there are a variety of silks which are available in the market, for example the tussar, moga, kosa, but the most common variety that we are aware about is the mulberry silk. Now this is the kind of silk which is actually coming out of the caterpillar or the silk moth, which will going to feed on the mulberry plant leaves. So from where the name is coming as the mulberry silk. So how exactly this whole thing goes on, that we will be able to understand by looking into the life cycle of this silk worm. So what happens is that the very first stage of the life cycle is that where the female silk moth will going to lay the eggs, and it will going to lay the eggs straight away on the mulberry leaves, so that whenever the caterpillar will come out of it or the larva will come out of it, so then it can have the ability of not straight away eating of the mulberry leaf, and it doesn't have to wander here and there for the food. Now as the caterpillar grows and it turns itself into the pupa, which is the resting stage for the larva or the caterpillar, ultimately it will going to make the different set of structure around itself in the pattern of 8, and this particular pattern of 8 is coming out of that specific fiber only that we are looking for. So this specific fiber is nothing but the saliva of the larva or the caterpillar, and this thing once get hardened up, then it is the protein that we are looking for, and once it is exposed to the air, it converts into the itself into the silk fiber. So that means this specific structure is the structure, the pupa structure is the structure that we are looking for, from where we will be obtaining our silk fiber, for which what we have to do is we have to actually take care of these cocoons, and we have to take them and we have to stop their further modification and further development of the life cycle, so that we can obtain it from that pupa structure. If in case we do not obtain the silk from this pupa structure, then this pupa will develop itself, and the caterpillar or the larva will going to develop inside this pupa or the cocoon, and once it is fully matured, it will hatch and will turn into the adult moth, which will again going to breed and lay the eggs on the mulberry leaves. So this is how the cycle continues. So while doing the rearing and breeding of silkworms, we have to take care of the fact that some of the cocoons that we are going to take up for the fabric extraction or obtaining the fabric, whereas some we have to provide for breeding purpose, so that we can have the next chain of cycle for the egg production and the whole processing. So that is one thing that is a part of the rearing and breeding of the silk moth under the processing of sericulture phenomena. Now, when as we have understood the whole life cycle of silkworm, and now we have understood that what particular stage is the most important stage and how we can achieve there. So, we have a proper processing of the cocoon silk, or we can say the silk moth on the whole, where the first step of this particular process is the rearing of silkworms, which is done straight away on the mulberry leaves. Now what happens is that we have to carefully do this particular process, reason being, half of the times, or when the processing starts, like once the whole cycle is completed under one particular manufacturer, then in that case, or the rearer, then in that case, they can straight away use the first set of eggs and first set of natural phenomena in natural environment into the next cycle. But whenever it starts for the very first time, over there what we have to do is we have to very carefully take the eggs from the nature and bring them into the artificial environment, hygienic environment, so that ultimately they can be given the similar sets of environment where they can grow and doesn't harm themselves. Because most of the time it happens that if at such a primitive stage something is disturbed, or something is the chain is broken down, then in that case it ends up getting destroyed. We don't want that. So to make sure that we get into the similar kind of environment, what we are going to do is we are going to take the small trays, and those trays will be made up of the bamboo stick, so that the larva or the egg which is actually coming out or even growing on the mulberry leaf will have the feeling that it is in the natural setup. On the other hand, we will maintain the temperature of the area where this whole thing is going on. We will be putting small strips of or small pieces of leaves of mulberry as well. So the moment the eggs hatches and larva or the caterpillar comes out of these eggs, they can feed on these leaves straight away. This way the eggs or the larva will not get the idea or not get the feeling, not get the senses of the artificial environment or the artificial medium where they are kept, and they will be able to grow and develop just like the similar conditions. Now once the larva or the caterpillar will going to feed on the mulberry leaf, it will going to get totally grown and totally mature. It will turn itself into a small cocoon like structure, which is the 8 structure or infinity structure, which is actually made out of the larva's saliva, means the saliva which is coming out of the caterpillar, and it will going to create this structure around itself so that it can prevent itself or keep itself protected from the external environment. Now at this particular stage, what we will going to do, we will going to simply take these cocoons in the same form, and then we will going to simply boil them up so that the hardened silk fiber can be converted into softened structure, and then it can be spinned properly so that it can be converted into a proper fabric. So this whole process is known as reeling of silk, where the cocoons that we obtained from this whole processing or rearing of the silk moth, those cocoons or pupa, we will going to put them into the boiling water and will allow them to soften that much, the softness that we get from the fabric when we wear it. So on the whole, this whole processing will be leading towards the spinning of the silk thread and ultimately providing us the silk fiber. And so the whole process of silk moth rearing and the silk production, the silk fiber production, is performed and is maintained. So with this we are done with this particular fabric as well, and we are done with the chapter as well. So this is now signing off. with the note that in the next session we will be taking up some new topic. Till then, take care and keep learning.